Hello everyone, my name is Jake Truitt, and today for you, I'm going to be reading a poem I wrote called Fragile Heart. I hope you all enjoy. Most people say that love is the toughest feeling to break apart. That is true. And now I'm going to tell you a story about a boy named Max, the boy who was born with a glass heart. Max loved to skip around, jump, and play until he had found something beautiful and something that had made his entire day. He'd found a delicate rose, then another and another. He then said, "I know, I'll bring these all to Mother." So Max burst through the doors all cheerful and happy too. He yelled, "Mother, come quick, I have something for you." She then came around the corner and said, "Let me see." Max then handed the flowers to his mother. She then said, "They're beautiful, Max. I love them. Come on, follow me." As she put them in some water right by the window, she looked at Max and said, "I have a surprise for you. You want to know?" Max jumped with joy, and he danced with glee, and he wondered what his surprise was. It was a real mystery. His mother then came down the hall with something in her hands that was rather quite small. She then said, "Happy birthday, sweetheart." When Max looked at his gift, he noticed it was a necklace with two halves of a heart. His mother then said, "What do you think, son?" Max smiled, then said, "I love it. Now, no matter where we are, as long as we each hold on to both halves, we'll never be apart. And when we bring them together, they become whole as one." Max's mother smiled, placed his half around his neck, and he placed hers around her neck as well. And as Max jumped, when he landed, he almost fell. "Careful, Max," his mother said. "Your heart is very fragile, especially now that it's December." Max then said, "Sorry, I remember. I think I'm going to go lay on my nice, soft, warm bed." Max then ran to his room and began to look out his bedroom window, and looked up at the night sky and watched as the stars began to glow. A few years had passed, and Max had just turned 13. It was his first day back to school, and he already wanted to go home because all the kids in his grade were rude and mean. He ran home crying, his face turning red along the way. How would he tell his mother? What would he say? This wouldn't be the first time Max had run home from school crying. This, in fact, would be the second day. He burst through the doors crying. His mother shot up out of her chair instantly. She then asked, "Max, what happened?" He then said, "It was the other kids, Mother. They made fun of me." Saddened to see her son so upset, that she dropped down on her one knee, she comforted him and said, "Shh, my angel, you're just like me." Max began choking back tears as there was a sharp pain he'd suddenly begun to feel. He then said, "But we're different, Mother. My heart is made out of glass, and yours is real." "This is true," she said. "You're very right. But we do both share something." "What's that?" Max asked out of curiosity. His mother then said, "We both possess heavenly light. So you see, I'm just like you, and you're most definitely just like me." Max smiled and hugged his mother tight. When they finished, they both then said, "I love you, and good night." The next morning was a new day for young Max. He ran to school so fast he'd hardly left any snow tracks. He thought it was going to be easy, and if he got bullied, he'd stand up for himself and he'd no longer get pushed around. Until someone had caught him off guard and tripped him, which made him slip on ice, and he also fell to the ground. As he landed, he began to feel instant pain. He then got off the ground and began to run home faster than that of a giant train. He stumbled into the house, and onto his bed he did drop. His mother ran into his room, and Max then yelled, "Make it stop!" Max's mother, now crying for her son, looked down upon him and said through tears, "What have they done?" Max then unbuttoned his shirt, took it off, and opened a small compartment that resided on the left side of his chest, and saw that his heart had been badly cracked, and said as he cried, "Mother, it's time to let me go and put me to rest." Max's mother refused. She begged him, and she said, "Not today." Max then took her hand in his and said, "It's all right. I promise you, Mother, that we will be together again one day." As Max's heart began to crack more and more, his mother looked him in the eyes and said, "I will always love you. Now." Max then cut in and said with a little happy grin, "And forevermore." As his mother then kissed him on the hand, Max's heart then turned into shards, and as he closed his eyes, he would no longer suffer, but he would now go to a happier land, up through the clouds way up above, to a place full of joy and a place full of love. The funeral was held that very night. Many in line to pay their respects and to say goodbye, and to comfort Max's mother whilst she tried not to cry. When everyone had left, Max's mother began to groan as she remained by her son's grave, for she was now alone. She then began to cry, but then stopped, because she looked at her half of her necklace, then up at the bright night sky, and she remembered that no matter how far they were from one another, they'd be reunited again one day, as son and as mother. This was a story of sacrifice, family, and love, and one that shows no matter where we all are, our love will keep us together, and we shall never be apart, just like Max and his mother, for they knew their time together was precious and delicate, like a piece of beautifully made art, and that we all need to handle ourselves with care and be smart, because like Max, we all have inside of us a very fragile heart.